Baltimore right now. It's kind of a windy day. We're up on Federal Hill, which is one of the nicest spots you can see. And I'm gonna head down to see if it's a little less windy there so we can talk a bit. Everything might not be fun. Yeah, the politicians keep saying, why is our healthcare system so expensive? And like, duh.
How does that make any sense?
We'll figure it out. This is the thing, I'm just getting totally unhinged now. I don't know what to do. Hey, how's it going? It's a windy day in Baltimore, but stuff we gotta talk about. I don't know where to start my podcast, so let's start it here. This is a great city, and I'm peeved off because all I'm reading about is the stuff that Donald Trump and Paul Ryan and blah, blah, blah are talking about the healthcare system. And I gotta tell you, no one's talking about what really matters. They're missing the point. And if they were with me in my office yesterday, they would have seen what's going on. I had a patient yesterday who was in the hospital for no good reason. Over 90 years old. He went in there because we could not keep him in home because he had an infection, he couldn't get around. Our system doesn't pay for that, and he ended up in the hospital. So his poor wife was trying to take care of, that's the last thing she wanted. And once he was there, the hospital doctor just sent him for test after test, medicine after medicine, specialist after specialist. He had a diabetes doctor, he doesn't have diabetes, infectious disease doctor, a heart doctor. They were all seeing him. Nobody talked to me. I've known him for years. And he comes out of the hospital, I saw him yesterday, weak as can be, confused as can be, just beat up by the hospital, on medicines he should never have been on. We had to take him off all that stuff, probably at a cost of $60,000, $70,000 to the system. He had Medicare, and a cost of him and his wife's vitality. So this is the kind of stuff I'm dealing with every day. I want Paul Ryan to come in the office. I'm gonna point to this guy and say, this guy should have stayed home. We need tools to stay home. We as primary care doctors, we have to be able to keep them at home. So how do I start this podcast? I had some people yesterday really going bent over backwards about their cholesterol. And I tried to tell them, there was a study recently I saw. I'm always looking at these studies. Looked at people who show up for heart attacks. And of the people who showed up for heart attacks, as many people had low cholesterol as high cholesterol. In other words, it didn't matter one bit what their cholesterol was. Everyone's really obsessed with cholesterol, but I find people are obsessed with the heart in general. They're obsessed with getting an EKG. They think somehow that's gonna tell them whether they have heart disease. Stress test. You know, should I get a stent? Should I be on this medicine or that medicine? What's my blood pressure? Cardiology, the heart. You know, cardiologists do amazing things, but there's a lot of stuff that is wasted and it can hurt people. And so I figure that's a good place to start. Cardiologists actually, as a group, wonderful doctors, smart doctors, life-saving doctors, spend more money probably than any other doctor. They have about $450 billion a year that they generate, which is not too far off from our entire military budget. And a lot of that money is done doing stuff that we know does not work, does not help people. In fact, it could hurt people. Even the great search for cholesterol, fixing cholesterol, we're going to show moving forward that's not really useful. So when we're looking at why our healthcare system costs so much money, I think cardiology is a great place to start. So let's start with the heart. I'm going to talk about cardiology for the next few talks. I'm going to run with my friends Mike and Paul, and we'll see what they know, and we'll see if we can figure out why our healthcare system costs so much through the lens of the heart, and what as patients you need to know to make sure you're not totally screwed by tests and drugs and other things that you think are saving your life but might be hurting you. Because in fact, a lot of what we do as doctors is not going to help you at all, but you don't know, so we got to tell you. And I wish I could bring Paul Ryan and those bozos from Congress in my exam room with me and show them what I see and sit them down and say, let's actually fix the healthcare system instead of playing all the games you're playing. So, Unhinged, I'm going running. Beautiful city of Baltimore. I will see y'all later. Hey, hope you like the podcast. We'll be back next week. I'm going to give you some information. If you want to check the website, if you want to email me, if you got your own stories, let's talk about it. See you next week.